Now let's go ahead and use tooltips to display metadata about each image. And I'm going to start by adding a title to this div tag. So for each image that I display, I'm going to attach a title with the metadata, and I'm going to use HTML for formatting. So um, let me go ahead and create a piece of text. Var title is equal to, and I could put this all in one line, but it's easier to read this way. So I'm going to include a bold tag, and the metadata that I want to display is, let's see, the owner, the name, and the sharing level. So owner, and that's going to be imageset.owner, and then a break tag, and then the name, and then another break tag, bold, and then sharing. So there's my metadata, and then I'm going to attach that as the title of this div. Like so. Now, it used to be that all you had to do to display HTML in a tooltip was just turn on the tooltip, like so. So that used to be all you needed to do. But when you do that now, here's what you get. So I'm going to hover over it, and you see that I get the text of the HTML, but it's not formatted as HTML. And the reason that the jQuery UI maintainers made that change is because this supposedly opens up the possibility of a cross-site scripting attack. So if you can actually put HTML in the tooltip, then you can do some other things that cause security issues. So now, if you want to make this work again, you have to do this. You have to add some content. You have to add content colon, and then a function that returns the title text. So in jQuery UI, that's going to look like this dot prop title. And then you also have to say which elements you want to activate that for. And I'm going to activate it for my thumb class. So dot thumb. And that should be it. Let me go ahead and try it. Oh, not quite. Oh, I need to actually return that text, not just access it. So now let's try it. Good. So there's my tooltip as formatted HTML. The bolding is a little subtle. And then the other thing I want to do is if I go ahead and go to the network tab and hit reload, or just load that page again, you'll see that it's fetching every single image. It's not going to the cache. So these thumbnails aren't getting cached at all. And in the response header, it's sending no store, no cache, must revalidate, and pragma no cache. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to have to keep reloading each image each time. So I'm going to change the caching in my fetch image page. So here's where the So here's where the image is actually returned. And if it's an error image, because user isn't validated, then I don't want to change the caching. No cache is perfectly fine here. So if they try to fetch this again later on, I want them to get the new value. But this, if it's actually returning the thumbnail, there's no reason this can't be cached. So I'm going to go ahead and there's two header lines that I need to add to break the cache. And I've provided those to you on the walkthrough page. It's right up at the top here. So I'm going to copy these two lines and paste them in right here. So now when I reload, the first time I reload, it's going to go to the server and fetch these images, but it's going to get the cache header instead of the no cache header. So that one looks the same, still takes a little while to load. But if I look at the response, I see cache control, private, max age, and pre-check, and pragma cache. And now if I reload the page, much faster. It's getting everything out of the cache. Now there's one other thing I want to do with the image metadata before I move on. So I want to have an easy visual way of telling which of these images is private and which of these is public. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the border color depending on whether it's public or private. And so let me go back to my gallery content. And in the CSS for the thumb, I'm going to get rid of this border here, and I'm going to have two classes. So thumb private, and I'm going to make it 2 pixels so it's a little bit bigger. And private, I'm going to use red for the border, and then thumb public, I'm going to use green for the border. And then I'm going to restructure this code a little bit as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that HTML out. And put it here instead. So this is jQuery for creating a new HTML element. And then I'm going to add a class to the thumb depending on whether it's public or private. So if imageset.sharing is equal public, then thumb.add class thumb public, else thumb.add class thumb private. So that's going to add the appropriate class for the border. Let's go ahead and see if that works. Nope. So let's see if we got an error. Nope. So we have some issue here. Let's take a look if we actually got thumbs. No thumbs added. So I think we're going to want to put a breakpoint in our JavaScript. So here's our show gallery code. Oh, I have to append thumb here. Okay, so append thumb. Now let's try it. There we go. So the red ones are public, red ones are private and green ones are public. Still a little hard to see. Actually kind of hurts my eyes a little bit too, but this is not a course on design, so feel free to make it look better. I do want to do one other thing though. So I have hard-coded properties here, which is not what I want. And I also have these defined as constants in shared database. So in, shared database. So owner key, name key, sharing key, and shared database. So let's use those instead. So I already have owner key. I need name key. And that's in shared database. Name key. And actually, I need a different shared data. I need shared database owner key here too. So shared database owner key is shared database owner key, which is different from image set list owner key. And then I'll go ahead and continue that here. And shared database sharing key. So now here I can go ahead and use those constants. So that's the owner and here's the name. And here's the sharing level. And then I also need image set ID. And then this public here, I believe that's in image set. Yeah, sharing public. So let's go ahead and use that constant as well in image set. So image set public is image set sharing public. Like so. And that looks like everything that I have defined as a constant. So let's go ahead and reload, make sure it still works. Not quite. Let's take a look at the JavaScript that I'm getting. Oh, actually I probably need to load image set here. And I also need to load shared database. There, so now it works. And my tooltip is still looking good. Okay, I did miss a constant right there, so let's go ahead and fix that. So sharing key, and then reload. Good.